And staying with our guest editor, Baroness Benjamin, she has made one of her themes for this programme, unsurprisingly, I guess, children's TV. She says it's in crisis, and she's been speaking about this crisis to the author and TV writer Malorie Blackman, who told her that she is also concerned about what she calls a decline in storytelling.
We don't seem to have as many dramas as we used to have. And I think it's through storytelling and the dramas that children particularly learn empathy and understanding and get to learn more about the world outside of their own sphere. And unfortunately, numbers are declining actually watching children's dramas. And I know when my daughter was a teenager, she didn't watch much TV because she didn't feel there was much on for her. That's how a number of children and young adults feel. There is definitely room for more storytelling, for more dramas. It seems to me there's an awful lot of programs where they hit you with primary colours and bright lights and loud noise and so forth, as if they feel that children don't have the concentration to cope with telling a drama in a kind of storytelling way. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Now, you started writing to share your experiences of the world and to expose audiences and readers to people who were more like you and looked like you.
Books and dramas and films and so forth, all creative media should be not just windows, but it should also be mirrors. And you should be able to see yourself reflected in what you're watching and reading, as well as seeing the lives of others. Otherwise, it's very hard to empathise with anyone who doesn't have your background, doesn't have maybe your gender or your skin colour or your religion or whatever. And I think we need exposure to as many different kinds of lives as possible. If a child can go through something, it's important to write about that. And I know when I started, it was an uphill battle trying to persuade some editors that that was the case. It was an uphill battle trying to persuade some TV controllers that was the case, that children, if you engage them in the story, don't care about what colour the child or the protagonist is. But that said, things are definitely better than they were when I first started, but I still think we have a way to go on that.
Have young people ever shared their experiences by seeing and reading what you've written?
Oh, absolutely. And that's part of the joy of the process, because I get letters and emails, adults, children, young adults, telling me the impact that my books have had on them. And one of the nicest compliments is that my books have turned people on to reading. And also, I have had a number of letters from children saying that noughts and crosses actually spoke to them and made them see the world in a new way. I love that. And I think my favourite kind of books to read when I was a teen were books that made me think. And that's what I try and do with my own work.
What are the risks, do you think, of not telling those stories about the difficult things that young people are facing going through life? And do you think there should be a place on television to help young people?
Absolutely. I think it's really important that children see themselves, they are challenged, they are engaged. If we don't have them, I think it means that our lives become more narrow.
As an author and a screenwriter, are you concerned about the sort of content children are being drawn to online?
I do. The point about commission dramas and so forth is it goes through a number of processes. We make sure within those processes that the material is age appropriate. I worry that what is there to filter that? What is there to say this is appropriate to this age range, where you have someone with a smart device and they can access any and all of this stuff?
You're fascinating to speak to, and I feel quite an honour and a privilege to chat with you. And I'd want to just sneak into your little world at the moment to ask you, what are you working on at the moment?
Well, I hope so. I'm working on a novel in the pick-up boy vein, but not quite that. And it's really exciting to me. But I don't like to speak about what I'm writing about, because that's the only thing I'm superstitious about. If I talk about it too much, then I won't write it. So I'm hoping that will be published next year.
Are you publishing it with Stormzy? Because you're working with Stormzy, aren't you?
Yes, Stormzy's Murky Books did my autobiography, Just Saying. Yeah, so I hope to work with him again. But this book is actually going to be published by Penguin Random House. I've got a crime novel for adults, which I'm also working on. So, I'm kind of just at my computer most days, and I'm loving it.
Well, I'm a huge fan, and it's a joy speaking to you today. So thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.